When you delve into history, you will discover that slaves throughout history have been divided into two types at all times: coerced, defeated slaves, and those who have embraced servitude. For example, in historical America, slaves were divided into two categories: house slaves and field slaves. Field slaves lived in oppression, humiliation, and repression, laboring in the fields day and night. In contrast, house slaves considered themselves to be a more privileged class of slaves. They consumed their master's leftovers, wore their old clothes, and served in the master's homes. Whenever the field slaves gathered to liberate themselves from bondage, unified on principles of freedom and justice, the house slaves, who benefited from their position, would oppose them. They would rush to inform their masters of the plans and arrangements of the uprisings, leading the masters to torture the field slaves and crush their dreams and revolts. The house slaves did this not for some noble purpose or wisdom, but because the scraps of food and clothing were more valuable to them than freedom. These opportunistic slaves are the reason for the failure of any attempt to attain freedom at all times.